So this is chapter 1, section 2. So now I'm driving from Córdoba city, which is in the center of our country, Argentina. I'm going through the mountains. We are as high as 4,000 meters, 4,000 meters. Yes? Can you check?
No, it is lower.
Lower?
Yeah, like 2,000.
2,500? I mean, my watch should say somewhere here, near here. Can you check how high? Let's check it with the. I don't want to crash my car. So, can you check it with my watch? How high we are? There is a function where you can see the altimeter. 2038. Okay, so this is the highest mountains in the middle of Argentina. Is far away from the Andes that divides Argentina from Chile. So this is the highest mountains in the center of our country, and we're doing some kind of ONG work. Bringing some laptops to young kids that want to study computer science and robotics in the mountains where there are no universities, or the universities that there is one university that is very small and do not have the specific careers. So we're taking some time to help these guys. So this is what's going on right now. But in this section 2 of chapter 1, I wanted to talk about mentors that I have through my life, and some other problems I have in my life. So in the last video, I was telling you guys that I run a pathology lab, and that lab grew to be one of the biggest labs in Argentina. We produced up to 2 million tests a year, which is a lot in Argentina because it's a small country. We are only 45 million people, so 2 million tests a year is one of the biggest labs in the country. When I got there, I was like having 100, 110, 120 employees, and I was 35. And I got there because I had three principal mentors, main mentors in my life. One was Sergio. Sergio is a friend. All of them friends of my father. Sergio is a friend of my father that had a computer shop in the late 80s and early 90s, where I went to work during the summer. It was the time where the first IBM clones and personal computers were sold to companies and to people at their home. So I would pass my time cleaning printers like the Epson LX 810, or cleaning the keyboards, cleaning and changing hard disks that were maybe 40 mega capacity hard disks, or installing floppy disk drives and stuff like that, motherboards, configuration, stuff like that. So that was the first thing that got my attention to technology, and Sergio was my mentor at that age. I was 14, 15, 16, 17, that age before university. Then as I grew up and I went to university, I had a second mentor that eventually, when I finished university, I started a laboratory which grew to be one of the biggest laboratories. His name was Hector. Hector is not with us anymore, and yeah. Hector was a biochemist and also computer science developer. He knew how to code, and he had a software company. So he helped me to decide to become a biochemist, which my mother and my father, they were both biochemists, and I was trying to decide whether I wanted to be an architect, computer science engineer, or a biochemist. And Hector, who was a biochemist and a computer science engineer, he said, why don't you do bioscience, where you will be able to apply technology? So I did. I did that. I started doing biochemistry, and I used a lot of technology in my journey within bioscience and pathology lab. So talking about mentorships and mentors, the other mentor I had when I finished university, before becoming a biochemist and having the laboratory with Hector, I had another mentor who was my mentor in business, who is actually my co-founder at Robotic Crew and my co-founder at We Develop. And at that time, we were also co-founders of a website that was meant to do bioscience search. When you would go and search for a bioscience article, that was called bioinformation.net. It didn't work. We lost a lot of money there. And then we started the second project, which was something like Amazon at that time. We're talking 1999, and we also lost a lot of money, and it didn't work. And it was just because we were too early in time. In South America, in Argentina specifically, in the late 90s, no one would like to use a credit card online. That was crazy. Like, how are you going to use your credit card and put your information in the internet? It was like, forget about it. It was very insecure, right? So, and because of that, and because of some other things, like people not having internet in their phones, or not having applications in their phones, because that came after we did this venture. So we were a kind of a lot ahead of the curve, ahead of the time, where it was appropriate to do that kind of company. So we failed on that. We failed on those two, and then I started the laboratory, which was not a digital company. It was atoms and physical company, because you take blood from people and do tests. But it had a lot of information, and information is managed by software. And there were a lot of machines, and these machines were absolutely automated, and absolutely you can tell that these machines were in some way robots and automated machines that were doing a lot of work in very small space. I will get back to this in further chapters, where I proposed myself to explain how I understood the evolution of technology, where my father and my grandfather, that started 100 years ago and 80 and 70 years ago to do pathology lab tests, they did it manually and how they did it, and I saw and they saw and they tell me, and I saw it myself, how all those steps, all those activities, human activities within in vitro diagnostics were automated. And I saw all that, and I saw many problems, and I saw how they were solved, and I saw a lot of obstacles, and I saw how these obstacles were sorted. And I think that the history and the experience of automation in the in vitro diagnostics laboratory is a key knowledge to understand how will evolve other areas of human activity when automated. For example, hospitality or mining or agritech. The path that these pioneers in these verticals are going to take are very similar, if not identical, as the path that the pioneers in vitro diagnostics took many years ago. And there is also an explanation how come in vitro diagnostics is automated since 30 years ago and not other verticals. Also did happen with automotive factories, right? And there is an explanation, and there is an economical explanation for that, and I will get to that in further chapters. So I wanted to talk about the mentors. These mentors were and mean and still mean a lot to me. These people were in my wedding in Argentina. We have a custom. No, custom is disfraz. We have our culture. When we get married, we do the party, and in the first table where the couple that is getting married is eating the dinner, you invite the most important people of the family to that table. So it's usually the couple's parents and some other very important members of the family. So in my case, in my wedding, there was her parents, my parents, and Hector and Juan, and I think Sergio was in the table too, because there was not enough enough room. But all my mentors were in my wedding in very important places. My other big mentor was my father. He mentored me when I was a child. I had an old father. My father, I was born when my father was actually my age, 46. I'm 47 now. So I never played soccer with my father. I never played tennis with my father. My father used to go to the beach in long trousers instead of using a short. He was born in 1931, so it was a kind of a father, but the ways and the expressions and the knowledge was from from a very older, more antique culture in our same culture. He was a very serious guy, and I talked a lot with him, and everything he told me was related to do big things, great things, and do good and expect good to come back, because if you do bad will come back too. And in some way he was talking about Buddhism and karma, right? He was a great person. He was a biochemist, as I said, and pharmaceutics, and he was also my mentor. So the other thing I wanted to talk about in this chapter is that when I started, so I failed in bioinformation.net, I failed in this kind of Amazon site, and I decided to go full into my actual degree, which is biochemistry. So I started a laboratory with one of my mentors, who was Hector, and I worked for a decade. I started in a garage, then I moved to a bigger place, and then I moved to a very, very big 3-store building with 100 employees and 20 cars driving through the country looking for samples. Because my lab was what you would call you would call it a reference lab, where you get the more complex tests from other laboratories. So I had 800 laboratories sending me the complexity for testing of those laboratories to my laboratory. So my laboratory was fully automated from the arriving of the sample till the result was sent through mail or via website. And I also had a system with the GPS and temperature control in the cars, so information started right there in the door of the laboratory that was sending the sample. So in some way I did what Hector suggested me. I did two things that I liked. I was a biochemist, and I was a biochemist that used a lot of technology and automation and robotics in my laboratory. Sadly, I am a very focused person when I have an objective. If I don't, I'm very dispersed, but when I focus so much, and as I have a anxiety syndrome, all that together sadly went into a spiral that led to addiction to work. As you know, a workaholic. So I was a workaholic for, let's say, 5 years or something like that, where I closed my friend group, and I was 100% dedicated to working. I would pass my birthday working or visiting a customer or attending to a congress, or my wife's birthday party. I would be working, and I would sneak from a bar or from a restaurant that was close to the lab to go work and back. That kind of crazy things I did. So because of that, I started to feel bad, and the workaholism led to a burnout. So age 38, I was having a very, very strong burnout. So I decided to sell the company and start psychological treatment. And part of the recovery was not to work for 10 months. So in 2016, I didn't work for 10 months, and I sold my company to my partners, which was my shares, and I have a lot of shares of my own pathology lab. And I think I'll let chapter 1.2 here with a beautiful view. If you, Juan, can show the view, it would be great. And this is what we call the altas cumbres, which would translate to the higher mountains or the higher peaks, which actually we already know that are not that high. It's only 2,040, 2,050 meters from the sea level. But I think it's beautiful. So thank you guys, and until the next video time.